Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, June 3rd, 2021. It is happy hour today. Today, I was already started drinking it. I got started a little bit ahead of you guys. I've got some of the You Can Hydrate, nothing new for today. I was going to have some of the beer. My wife bought some more of that all day vacay from Founders, and it's tasty, but we are going to be hitting the road in just a couple of hours. So I'm usually pretty sleepy when I get driving anyway. So didn't really want to have even just a beer before I headed on the road for a long road trip with the family. Not a long road trip. We'll be driving back to Hyatt, but we're heading back today. So pretty excited about that. And really enjoying the watermelon flavor on ice. It's pretty good. Hopefully you guys have a nice recovery beverage with you guys today as you're listening as well. And everyone, if you're on the podcast listening on the audio version, you might be running right now. So no recovery beverage for you yet, but hopefully you got a nice icy cold one waiting for you when you get home. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you're at a time where whatever you got to get done for the day is already done and you're relaxing for the evening. All right, let's see who's here today in the chat. We've got Chris Yao says he's still working on a case of Gatorade Zero for Hyper Hour. You've been drinking that for a while. He says on his way out for a run and dodging the rainstorms today. Have a great live stream, everyone. All right. Well, I hope you stay dry out there, Chris, and have a good one. Steven Gersdorf says hello. Kiefer says greetings, Earthlings. Awesome. Philip Bourne says, yo, what's going on? Bank holiday here in parts of Germany on a Thursday. Oh, that's interesting. So he had a 22K midweek long run for lunch without the dog. Don't want to push her in the heat. Yeah. That's, I was just thinking about running with dogs again today because, we are going back to Iowa and we're going to go see my mother-in-law's dog too. Or not, we're going to go see her, but she'll be there. And I do regret not being able to spend more time trying to train that dog to be a running dog. On the other hand, I was just thinking I just want to have to deal with mainly the water and the poop. So those are the main things. I was I don't have to deal with that when I'm out running. I'll just leave her at home. So that was the kind of thing. But, I'm sure I could have figured something else out. And then I was thinking, with those other dogs that just followed me, they weren't my dogs. I don't know. So if they were thirsty, they should have left. That's kind of how I felt about it. But they were always fine. They would always find some sort of watering hole or ditch where there was water in it still or some sort of creek. And they seem to be fine. So, yeah. But very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you're having a nice bank holiday today. All right. JC says, good day. Recycle on Wednesday says, hi, everyone. What's going on, you guys? And it says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. A 5K around town with Pip tonight to keep Pip and the Garmin happy. Good to get sub 7-minute miles around the town streets. Nice and speedy. That's nice. That's a good feeling. I got to go a little bit faster. I was dipping into that range for my workout yesterday, and it felt really good. So I was worried that I was probably doing a little bit too much before a race on the weekend, but it was just nice to get the legs turning over. The weather was beautiful. That was the footage from the video today. Weather was real nice. I just felt good out there, and I'm feeling, I'm feeling itching to race. And I know this 50K coming up, I guess on Saturday now, 2 days, isn't going to be something where I'm going to be using that kind of racing power. Well, I guess I might, just not at that pace, so I'm not sure how useful that was or not, but mentally it felt great. So I definitely know what you mean in this. And yeah, that must have been fun for Pip to get moving around on some of those city streets too. Leona says, happy Thursday, co-fam. I had to leave early, so I wanted to wish Mike an awesome run on Saturday. Well, thanks so much, Leona. Hopefully you're having a good weekend if you're heading out early, but thanks so much. Thanks so much. I'm getting real excited for this race. I was spending some more time looking at some of the, I don't know why I'm looking at the other entrants. I know I don't do that for other races that I'm in. But I guess just because I don't have a lot of other information to look at for this race. So I'm just kind of that's where the energy is going. And yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of these guys are ending up in the same events. Sometimes they're going to the same events. It'll be a trail race and it'll be there's a 50 mile, a 50K and a half marathon. And so they might be doing different distances, but it seems like a lot of these guys are placing some of them pretty high in these races. They all go to the same ones. And they're all placing high regularly. So they're all part of some sort of weird running club that doesn't post to Instagram, doesn't post to Strava, and just shows up at these races and wins. What the heck is up with that? These guys are psychopaths. Right? Am I wrong on that? It just seems weird to me. Will Gravel says, good morning, everyone. Good to see you again, Will. And Vincent Venieris says, what up? What's going on, Vincent? All right. Charles Ventura says, hey, Co. Just started posting some running reels on my Insta. Trying to do my best Co impression. Awesome. What Hero 9 settings do you usually use for your reels? Just crop your 1080 120 FPS shots? Yeah, I don't bother with trying to turn it sideways. And so I just keep it horizontal. And then for the reels, it goes this way. So I just crop in and I'm in tighter when I do that. But I still keep it at 1080 120 FPS. So that way, that same footage, I can use it in my regular video. That's like the primary purpose of it. If I can repurpose it and get a secondary use out of it, say, for example, for an Instagram reel, then I'll do that. And that's bonus. But, if I can't, then if it doesn't work out, then sometimes it doesn't work out. Because sometimes it doesn't work out because, you can't make it move from left to right in terms of which like rectangular section, of the frame are you grabbing. So like, if I'm moving the camera around and like all of a sudden my feet were on this side of the frame and then they move over to this side, then it kind of doesn't work sometimes because then you're just looking at nothing, so you got to get lucky a lot of it. And just hopefully you're in the, you don't have to be in the center of the frame every time, but like, it helps if you could be like relatively in the same spot in the camera. And having a longer selfie stick helps with that because then like, even if you move around a little bit and you're moving the camera, which is what makes a more interesting shot, you're still going to kind of be in frame even when you crop in. So that's what I've been doing. All right. Jeff Elliott's here, says hello. Stevie76 says, yo, what's going on? Cheers, Stevie. And cheers to you guys. Dominic Smirnowski says, good evening, guys. Raymond Solar says, we're off to see the Wizard of Shoes. Awesome. Very, very cool. Vincent says, I heard they got rid of the Peg Trail 36 line and the Trail 3 is the new iteration. Is that true? Have you heard anything? Yeah. So like at the 36, there was a Peg 36 Turbo and then the Peg 36 Trail. Those are offshoots from the Pegasus line. The following year, we had just the Peg Turbo 2 and the Pegasus Trail 2. And then this year, there's no Turbo at all, which is a bummer, but there is the Peg Trail 3. And then even with those, there's offshoots as well. For example, like in the Peg Trail 2, there's a Peg Trail 2. Then there's the Peg Trail Gore-Tex. So there's two different variants of the Peg Trail 2. And then with the Peg Trail 3, I've only seen the Peg Trail 3 so far, but I anticipate there'll be a Gore-Tex version. And that'll probably be the one that I pick up, in about 5 or 6 months from now once it gets cold again. Because I do really like that shoe, but I think it's a great winter running shoe. So that's probably when I'll pick it up. That, and I don't go through too many trail shoes. Speaking of trail shoes, by the way, so I just packed for the weekend. I got all my gels, all my hydration mixes and stuff, and some water. I'm taking all those Eugene Marathon water bottles, and those because I don't want to buy like a gallon jug of like a disposable water jug. I'm just going to bring water bottles, fill them at my mother-in-law's house, and then bring a cooler and stuff. So I've got all that stuff. And then I was like, well, I do want to bring out the 10.9s. So I want to do my 10.9 video on some of the trails that are out in Iowa. I was thinking I would do it out on the Crater Trail course. I just don't know if the timing is going to work out on that because the packet pickup doesn't start till 3 p.m. And I don't really want to do like my shakeout run like 12 hours before the race. So that just seems kind of weird. So I don't know. I might just run in New Wine Park for the day, which I think the terrain will be similar. And there's uphills, there's a creek crossing, and, there's inclines, declines, everything. So I think that's probably it. So I'm going to bring out the 10.9. But the thing with the 10.9, they're so big. They like basically, we're going back to my in-laws house. All of our summer stuff is still over there. So like, there's not much that we have to pack. So I basically have like my stuff for the race and like shoes. And like the 10.9 shoes are so big, they take up like my entire bag. It's just, they're gargantuan. They make I pack the Zinals as well in there, and they make the Zinal look like kids' shoes in comparison. It's just they're so I can't express to you just how big they are. Once I do the video, I'll show you. We'll pull it like the day after that video comes out. I'll show you guys on the live stream. like how big those shoes are. They are gigantic. They're really big. I mean, they're so big that they're like, yes, this is definitely a joke. Like it's not a real product, right? I'm having a hard time with it. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Paul Kane says, enjoyed the Alpha Fly video. It took me around 100K to settle into them. I think they are still best for a full marathon. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for watching, Paul. And yeah, I mean, they are really, really good. And I think that like some, a lot of these shoes, it seems like for me, like the Adios Pro, like I think they'd be great for a marathon, no doubt. But I'm like, they really want to be they're like more like a half marathon shoe. I think the same for the Endorphin Pro, but the Alpha Fly, it's just perfect for the marathon. And it's really hard to beat. I mean, there's other shoes that are out there that I think will also be great to run in, but it's fast and squishy. And it's a really nice. I mean, some people don't like that combo. But I really like that combo, and I think it's great. I think it's really good. I had a lot of fun making that video today. All right. 12 Musicable 12 says, is this part of the Iowa No Coast series? That could be why many do the same race. Oh yeah, I think you're right. You're smart. That's smart. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the No Coast series is, but I do remember seeing some sort of information about that. That makes more sense now. It's part of a series of races, and they're all traveling around in the same races. That makes sense. All right. All right. We got, not Hank Aaron says, Sage has blood clots. Yeah, I saw someone mentioned it yesterday. Asked me if I've seen the update, and I hadn't as of yesterday. But later in the evening, I saw the update on all of his media, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. And that's absolutely terrifying. I mean, those are crazy. Blood clots are so terrifying because like they could just take you out like in an instant if it gets in the wrong spot. And I'm glad that they caught it and that he's getting treatment for it. But yeah, my heart goes out to him. And someone mentioned he should start a GoFundMe or something to help with those medical bills, which I'm assuming. I don't know I don't think he has great health insurance. And usually when you don't have great health insurance, emergency care is ridiculously expensive. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that bankrupts people. So, I mean, I really hope. I mean, my thought was, well, maybe we could just buy up all of their shirts. But then, even then, you're spending however much for a t-shirt. Most of that is going back to the cost of the shirt. So there's got to be a more percent of each dollar that goes to them. I was like, well, they sell electronic plans, right? What if everyone brought 5 electronic training plans from them or something, some other way where we could, if they don't want to set up a GoFundMe, kind of secretly find a way to get them some cash so they can get through this without having to worry about a 5-figure. I'm guessing it's going to be at least a 5-figure hospital bill for that weekend. So, I mean, it's just, it's crazy. All right. Larry Lawrence says Alpha or Next Percent 2, not sure. I think it comes down to where you can spend most of your time training and racing for. If you're doing more half marathons, then I would say Next Percent 2. If you're going to do more marathons, I would go for the Alpha Fly. That's my take. I think most people would probably, there's people that have straight up preferences either way. But that's kind of how I divide them up a little bit. I mean, maybe it's splitting hairs a little bit. They're both really great shoes. You know what I almost did? Because I reached out for my mouse as I was trying to take another sip. I almost did the weird 2-hand water cup thingy. You guys remember that? It's not that awkward, I guess. But he wasn't operating a computer mouse during a live stream, so that's a little bit different. All right. Trey Brown says, looking for a good shoe for longer runs during first marathon training. Currently have the Mach 4. Any thoughts? I think it's a great shoe, and I think it's going to do you really well for your longer runs. I'd say start getting up to longer, not up to speed, but getting up to those longer runs first. And if you're finding like, even that shoe's not really cutting it for you, then I might say like, as long as it's an easy pace run and you're not trying to, put other kinds of speed work in that long run, if you like the Hoka, then stay with like the Clifton, or maybe even consider the Bondi, or I might look at something like the 1080 or the Triumph from Saucony. Those would be some other ones that I would also look at if your feet are taking a beating from those longer distance runs. But the Mach 4s are great. Will Wing said he had the speeds on to go do hill repeats, but he saw a box on the porch and he changed the Rebel version 2. Missed the pop of the speeds on the hill, but dang, I kept picking up the pace on the way home. All right. Yeah, that's another shoe. So remember the other day I was talking about like I got like a list of 4 or 5 shoes that I need to buy right away. The Rebel 2 is one of those that's on the list. See, I feel like I would have reviewed that shoe already if black had been a launch colorway, because black should always be a launch colorway, but it wasn't. And so I haven't picked it up yet. But I did just get another email from Roadrunner Sports. They had some options for me, some shoes that I might want to check out from them. The Rebel 2s aren't on there, but another shoe that we've been talking about is the Fresh Foam More 3. That's probably the only way that I was thinking that's probably the only way that I'm going to pick up that shoe, because I don't love the Max Cushion, but it also ties into, what was the last question? It was from, where did that one go? Oh, from Trey, who was asking about long run shoes. I think that could be a good one. Normally, I wouldn't be interested in the Fresh Foam More 3 at all, but Megan Murray loves that shoe. And I tend to agree with her on a lot of the shoes. Like, I feel like we have a similar preference, very similar preferences. And she seems to love it. So I'm like, maybe it's worth a shot this year. The first year, everyone was like, yeah, don't bother. Second year, I don't think people even noticed that there was a second version. And the third version, people were like, oh, this is not bad. Just check it out. So maybe I will. And JC said he's excited to try the new Fuel Cell Rebel 2 this afternoon, and he's expecting good results. Well, it seems like everyone's getting them now. See, that's going to get me itching to do it, because you guys have it now. So now I want to know what you guys are talking about. So maybe I'll have to escalate that up on the list a little bit. Vincent Veneer says, me too. I love that shoe. Good luck on the 50K. Thanks so much, Vincent. I'm pretty excited about it. I've decided, like, I do want to run it hard, like I want to make sure I'm putting in a race effort, but I don't know what the edge is. Like, I feel like after a couple of failed marathons, I know kind of like that feeling of where the edge is of like, this is not sustainable. And this is, I don't know where that's going to be on a race with elevation. So I'm just going to, my goal, like me and my running buddy, we typically have a goal when we run races together. We want to run this hard, but be able to really enjoy our beers afterward. So that's kind of like the goal. That's where my head's at on this one. I feel like, I was just thinking about it today. I feel very fit. I feel like almost bad that I'm not like lining up for a flat road marathon tomorrow, because I'm like, I'm in pretty good. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. I don't know if I'm in PR shape, but I feel like I'm feeling itching to get after it, So like, tomorrow, it's Saturday, it'll be a good day to be racing. It's going to be hot. So that's another thing to consider too. But I think overall, I'm just going to have a lot of fun. Trevor says, I'm also doing my first half marathon race next January. I'm thinking about getting Alpha Flies, but not sure yet. Yeah, I think the Alpha Flies are great for a half marathon. Some people are like, they're too heavy for the half marathon. I'm like, I don't know. I guess maybe I should, I don't know if I need to weigh shoes more, but like the stated weight is 7.4 ounces. It's pretty light. It's not as light as like the Zoom Streaks are, and that's what people used to run marathons in, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's still pretty light. I think it's a great shoe for it. And let's see. Brendan says, what's going on, Brendan? Brendan got a shot, by the way. Good job, Brendan. He said, I was finally able to order a pair of Mach 4s. Also order the Fuel Cell Elite 2. It's an expensive day. It's an expensive day, but it's going to be a super fun day when those packages arrive. You know what I mean? That's going to be a fun day. And look, Chase Summit's here. Awesome. Good to see you. Says, took the Clifton 8s on their maiden voyage. I like them so far. Yeah, you know what? I do. I mean, I like the Clifton 8s. I think it's a nice iteration over the, the 7 and then the 6. I think the difference between I started with the 6. I don't think I tried the 5. I started with the 6. 6 to 7, I think there was a bit of a change. 7 to 8, there's not a ton. It's all very mild things, but I just feel like it's a bit more streamlined in a way that I really like. So I have a feeling I'm going to be putting, especially coming after our 50K this weekend, when I get back to it, the Clifton 8, I think is like the first shoe that I'm going to reach for as far as getting back on my feet and running again. But yeah, I do like them too. And Taxon543 says, what shoe can you recommend for a marathon with someone with wide feet? Well, I think as far as the racing shoes go, as far as I know, there isn't like a carbon plated shoe that comes in a wide. That's my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But the two that I would look at that I think are a little bit more wide foot friendly are going to be the Carbon X2 and the Hyperion Elite. Those I just think fit a little bit more generously than all of the other carbon plated racers. As far as other shoes that you can also race a marathon in, I think that there you've got a lot of room, no pun intended, in terms of your options, because there are a lot of shoes that are available in a wide. So that's something that I would look for specifically rather than trying to fit into a regular shoe and you have wide if you normally take a wide size. So I don't know like off the hand like a list of shoes that are available in wides. And some shoes like the Pegasus aren't always, for example, aren't always available in wides right away. It takes a minute first. So the list changes, but that's something that I would keep an eye on is if the shoe comes in a wide. Finn M says, I was back in London seeing family this weekend and my mate wanted to go for a run. I hadn't brought my shoes. So I hit up the Nike outlet and scored Peg 36 for 30 pounds. It's a steal for a Brooke student. That's a steal anywhere. That's a great price. This 36 was a good year. It was like a wine. I do like the 36. That was a good one. Because I like the 35, but the 36, had a better fitting upper, and it made a world of difference in my opinion, especially in the summer. So that was a good one. Really good one. Great price. Lena says, Meb is a sponsor for the Recover Athletics running app. It looked interesting for preventing or addressing injuries. Subscription required for full use. Anyone try it? I've not heard of that before. Oh, interesting. What I'm also interested in is the Carlsbad 5000 going to be run this year? Or is it a 5K or is it a 5? It's not on the track, right? So it's a 5K. But I think it's called the Carlsbad 5000, right? Is that running this year? Does anyone know about that? I want to go to San Diego and run a race down there. So I want to do that one. But this Recover Athletics thing, I'm going to have to take a look at that. Interesting. Let's see. It looks like Shannon's in here. Good to see you, Shannon. I was thinking about you today because that Trial of Miles meet is this weekend in St. Louis. And that was one that I was thinking about, well, maybe I'll try and go and just photograph it because St. Louis isn't that far from here. I mean, it's it's over 300 miles, but it's not that far. I ended up picking up this race instead. So there's that, unfortunately. But yeah, that should be this weekend in St. Louis. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. Chris Busso says, looking at the Peg 37, Reebok Float Ride, and Endorphin Speed. Any other recommendations for an intermediate runner? Would like a do-it-all if possible. Currently have the Epic React 2. The Epic React 2, it was a disappointing update from the Epic React 1, but it was also only disappointing because it was the exact same as the Epic React 1, and the Epic React 1 is great. And it's one of those shoes that now that it's gone, I wish I had bought more of them because I miss that shoe a lot. It's a good shoe. The Peg 37 is probably going to feel the most close to it, although it's not that close. They're both React-based foams. But I would, if you have the Epic React, I would go with the Endorphin Speed to kind of pair those two together, unless your Epic React's about to die. Then I still probably wouldn't change my opinion too much, but the Endorphin Speed isn't my favorite like easy run shoe. It just feels like it can, it likes to go faster than easy running pace. So that's kind of how I feel about using that for every day. Some people are using it that way, and I think that's not a bad choice. But what could work would be like the float ride's a relatively cheap shoe, and the endorphin speed's a little bit more expensive, but maybe both of those shoes. The float ride gets you like your everyday, and the endorphin speed is for your faster days. So that could be another way of looking at it. All right. A lot of people talking about the Rebel 2. Let D down. Plan on getting it as well. Dominic says it's his favorite shoe of all time so far. And Dream Needle says, working at a running store gives me a chance to get the Rebel 2 for the low. That's nice. Very cool. Shannon says, I didn't know that it was in St. Louis, Co. Thanks for mentioning. I'll look into it, see if I can go. I mean, it's in St. Louis, right? That's what I thought. Yeah, because there's an arch in the logo. So yeah. Should be an interesting meet, I think. But I haven't been to an actual track meet in, I don't know, a long time. It's a really long time. It's been at least over a decade, I think. Ivan Long says, please run the Tokyo Marathon next year, assuming travel will be back to normal. Would love to meet you in person. I would love to run the Tokyo Marathon. I think that'd be a super fun one. Yeah, that's one that I would love to be able to enjoy that one. And that will be one that like I would want to spend some time. Like I would want to make a vacation out of it and just spend some time. Because by the time you get over there, I mean, and just getting used to the time zone change. It's literally on the other side of the planet. You might as well stay there for a little while. It's not like a weekend trip kind of thing. And I'd love to be able to do that and just go and experience. I mean, I wanted to go to Tokyo this summer. That was the thing. I was thinking about trying to go to Sapporo. Not Sapporo, Sapporo, right? I was thinking about going to Sapporo to try and film the Olympic, not film, but like go and experience the Olympic marathon. But that would be kind of cool. But I don't think that's going to happen this year. Johanna says, Saucony Tribe 19, you do a review soon? Would like to hear your thoughts before considering buying it. Greetings from Germany and the international Kofuzi fan base. Well, thanks so much. I am thinking about it, but I got to tell you, it's probably a little bit lower on my list for like immediate things to review. Because I feel like I just finished running in the Triumph 18. And when I had the Triumph 18, I feel like I had just finished running in the Triumph 17. So like it seems like they're releasing these less than 12 calendar months apart, which I guess there's nothing really wrong with that, but it's not like they were like, oh, we're having some issues with this 18 in terms of longevity or production issues. We need to find a new way to make the same shoe, but in a different way. And so let's make the 19 to resolve those like production issues, things that might be invisible to the end user. But like, I don't know what the difference is. And maybe that is it. And it's just invisible to us. And I don't know why it's different, but like, just felt like it went 17, 18, 19, like bang, 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 super quick. So like, I think that you could, I mean, I haven't looked recently, but I'm guessing you could probably find Triumph 17s around, which I thought I was imagining it. But then Emily Heather was like, Triumph 18 is no good. Give me the Triumph 17. And I was like, yes. I thought I was just remembering it different, but it is a little bit different. So I guess it'll be interesting to see what the 19 does. If the 19 is more like the 17, then it can be great. But so far, the only one that I've seen of that Triumph 19 is in the checkered flag color version. And I'm not gonna buy any Sauconys that have checkered flag patterns on them. I just refuse. It's if someone else out there loves it, I think that's fantastic. Awesome. Buy it. I love it and run it and just like enjoy it. It's just not for me. I just think it's so strange. So I won't do it. But yeah, so I think that for me is probably not going to be until we get a little bit closer to the fall, maybe towards the end of summer. A lot of times the Saucony shoes end up being a little bit on the hot side for me. So it's I'm not like eager to get into a pair of those in like July. All right. Will says, have you decided on all your nutrition for the weekend? Are you taking any real food? Yeah. I'm bringing, I got it right here. my wife, I already ate most of them. My wife made a bag. My wife made a bag of oatmeal cookies. She uses whole wheat flour when she makes them, and that sounds gross. Like the whole grain version of like whole grain bread is disgusting sometimes, compared to like white bread, which is nice and cakey and delicious. But she makes it with that, and those are real good. Dried cranberries and white chocolate, so super tasty. So I'm probably gonna eat like a whole bunch of them on the way up, because I'm gonna have like an hour and a half drive from my mother-in-law's house over to where the race is. So I'll eat a whole bunch of those on the way up, and then I'm just gonna do gels for the rest of the time. The aid stations have like chips and other like kind of food like that, and they have goos and all those other kinds of things. So like I don't know that I'm gonna try to not rely too much on the aid stations, just because I don't love goos when it's hot. But I will have 2 liters of my fluid, and then I might, and I have one of those like kind of like the silicone cups or whatever that collapse, so I can drink. Hopefully there'll be some ice water or just some really really cold water that I can have, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to bring it. I'll have some real food in the car to eat afterwards. I don't know what that's going to be yet. I was thinking I'm just going to go to a Casey's and order a breakfast pizza and eat a breakfast pizza afterwards. I'm not sure what my post-race plan is going to be. But yeah, I'm not going to bring any real food for the 50K. I may regret that later, but I just think there's going to be salt tabs, there's going to be fruit, there's going to be chips. So I feel like if I need to like munch on something, there'll be things available. So I'm not terribly worried about it. And I'm not sure I'm going to be pushing myself hard enough where I'm going to be like, like where my body's going to be like revolting against, all those sugars or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I'm probably, there's probably some things that I'm way underestimating and other things that I'm way overestimating, but you just got to get out there and run it at this point. The one thing that I did realize on my last 20, not the 20 mile, the marathon that I ran 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it last week? No, last week. No, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. The marathon that I ran 2 weekends ago, I ate all the rest of my Univeg gels. So I don't have any. So I'm going to double up on the UCAN. I don't have enough time to go get to like, I should have looked at it sooner. So I'm going to I'll double up on the UCAN. And then, yeah, so that throws off my salts a little bit. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. But I think the Noon Endurance has a lot of salt in it, so hopefully that'll be okay. And there's salt tabs at some of the aid stations too. So if it comes down to that, if I'm feeling like real gross halfway through, I'll be able to take one, I guess. But I don't know. My experience with needing salt tabs is I don't feel like I need one until it's too late. So we'll see. It could be a very fun disaster on Saturday. 12 Musicable 12 says, I'll go halfsies on that Casey's breakfast pizza with you. So good. It is really good, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Is it just an Iowa thing or is it a Midwestern thing? I didn't grow up eating breakfast pizza, let me tell you. I mean, the concept was around, but it wasn't something that you go get from somewhere. Like it was available like the freezer section, I think, but like I never went somewhere where you could get like a breakfast pizza. But the Casey's breakfast pizza is real good. It's got like sausage. I mean, sausage gravy on it, and I don't really normally eat meat, but it's just such a funny thing to have on the pizza. It's amazing. Self-defense. I think you're asking me this. How long have I been running? I mean, I started running in middle school. So like 6th grade. So my she's in 3rd grade now at 9. So like when I was like 12, I think. No, that doesn't sound right. Is that right? 12 sounds young. 12 sounds old for 6th grade. I have no idea. 6th grade was when I started. 7th grade? No, 7th grade is when I started running. And I've been kind of on and off ever since. I got into distance running though, kind of around 2010, I did a couch to marathon. That was terrible. And then I took a 5-year break from running. So yeah. Backfam says a breakfast pizza as a Casey's would be amazing. To be honest, a legendary Iowa food. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Like, I feel like I would leave it in the trunk of my car and like play like a game of chicken as far as like salmonella food poisoning goes. Because it's like, all right, it's gonna be a hot day. I'm gonna leave a pizza in my car for a good 6 hours. Is that gonna be safe to eat when I get back from the race? I don't know. Raymond Solar says, what do you think of the Razor line of Skechers? I really enjoy them. I just wish they would make a Razor 4. I don't like all these other things. There's the Plus, the XS, the Trail. I think those are all interesting. Just are they just not going to do a 4? Is that where we're at? I mean, because then instead of getting a Razor 4, we're going to get like the Razor XS2 and then the Razor Plus 2. Or is it it's because still call it 3 Plus, right? I don't know. The names Skechers names have always been horrible, and now they're also horrible and confusing. So I think they need to clear that up for me. But it seems to me, I mean, I don't know that these shoes are actually any different, but it just feels to me like they're like, we're basically going to make just the same shoe and tell people it's a new one and charge full price. So I just feel like I don't know. They're not interesting to me as someone who reviews shoes, but they are good. I'm not like, it's not, I don't know. All right. I'm about to lose the camera here. I don't know why. It says it's hot, but all right. We'll go to the webcam. Switch it up a little bit. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Ben Dover says, will Jacob, he says Jakob, right? Jakob Ingebrigtsen will win the gold medal in the Olympics 1500. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I mean, I don't know what, like, the 1500 is an interesting race for me, but it's not one that I follow closely. So I'm not sure. I don't know what the field would look like in that. And like, to be really honest, I know it's very like, I mean, I guess it's very American to be more interested in the American US trials than in the Olympics in a way, but I mean, that's where I'm at. That's where my head's at. I'm more interested in the U.S. Olympic trials in Eugene than in the Olympics in Tokyo. I don't know. I mean, I guess I know why, but it seems weird, but that's kind of where my head is at. Because I just know who those people are and I can see their not that I like study their training, but I see them on social media. I see them, at different races that get covered, locally. But like, the fastest runners, I mean, even Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who is a world-class runner, like, I don't know what he's doing really. I mean, they even have a YouTube channel, but I still don't know what they're doing. So it's hard for me to kind of follow that I'm not a huge track fan, but as someone who enjoys watching running, it's hard for me to, I mean, it reminds me a little bit of why I don't really watch college sports. I grew up in New Jersey, so we don't really have like a college football team that we root for. I mean, there's Rutgers, but do you really root? Who's like a huge Rutgers fan, right? But sometimes when you just watch college football, it's like there's so many people and they're only in the sport for a couple of years, so it's just like it's a constant revolving door of people that I'm just too old and I don't have enough time to learn all these names. Sometimes is how I feel about it. But maybe not the best attitude, but that's kind of more my mental space that I have for track knowledge is at the moment. Scott says, today I received a gel jug with a refillable flask of Hammer Nutrition. I've seen those before. Like I've seen them at like, I've seen them online. And then I was like, this thing holds 6 gels at a time. I was like, why would anyone need 6 gels at a time? And then I was watching, I think it was a Western States video and someone had those. And this one athlete, she just squeezed the entire 6 gels worth of, I think it was Spring Energy or something like that. Just 6 gels worth of it, like in her mouth at once. And I was like, that is so much gel at one time. Like, how could she even tolerate that? But she did it. That's what I like about, I mean, I like conceptually, that's what I love about these ultra distance races. It's like an eating contest and running put together. I love it. That's real. I mean, I told my wife many times, that I'm not going to be running ultra distances because the training just takes too long and the events take too long. And it's just too much. But like, I don't know. I keep watching these races, trying to get a feel for like what I'm in for. I keep looking at these things and I'm like, this isn't a running race. This is an eating race. It's an eating stage race. It's like eat as much as you can and then run as fast as you can to the next spot where then you eat as much as you can again. And that sounds kind of fun to me. I don't know why. And it says 50K is a good distance to do. 50 mile plus is a long time for most of us to be on our feet. Yeah. I mean, then it's like you're spending a lot of time walking, which is, nothing wrong with that, but it just doesn't, I don't know. I feel like it's a different sport. You're doing it. You're just doing things so differently in there. And Shannon says she agrees. She wants to do a 50-mile run and 100K, but the thought of running in pitch black instead of sleeping sounds harder than I'm willing to mentally prep for. I hear you 100% on that, Shannon. Like, I don't want to run at night. I don't like running at night. I think I have poor night vision is part of it, but I just really don't like running at night. And I mean, most nights I like to be in, like, I'm not falling asleep by 9, but I like to be in the bed around 9 o'clock. So like running at nighttime just doesn't sound all that great to me. But here's the thing. Do you do a 50-mile race or do you do 100K? Because I feel like once you're at 50 miles, you might as well get to the 100K, right? 50. So in that sense, like 50 miles is a weird distance to me. I understand 50K. I understand 100K. I conceptually understand 100 miles. It's a weird beast of a race, but I understand those things. But the 50 mile is just like, it's like you're really doubling down on the standard English measurements rather than metric at that point, But I think, I don't know, maybe at one point I'll do one. Yeah, I think if I go into it, that I'll probably end up doing more than one. But it just seems like a really long time. I really don't want to have to plan around nightfall. That's the main thing. Hayne Meinhardt says, is Comrades on the bucket list? Done the big 6, and this race is still my favorite. Highly recommend doing it at least once. Nothing like 22,000 runners suffering together over 87 to 90 Ks. That's the race where one year it goes just up and the other year it goes just down, right? If that's the case, I'll do it down here. Can I do that? Is that something that's an option? I could do that. I like running downhill. I love running downhill. So yeah, I don't know if it's on my bucket list, but like, I mean, yeah, I've seen videos from that race and it looks amazing. It's got history. It's got a unique location. I mean, it's got all sorts of things that make it a really nice destination race, I think. Like that in Tokyo, they're like, yeah, like, oh yeah, sure. Would I want to run them? Yeah, absolutely. But like, I really hate planning traveling. And so like, it's a lot for me to like go somewhere to do a race. So like, yeah, in the abstract, I would love to do it, but will I? I don't know. I got to get out of my comfort zone on a lot of levels, and the running isn't the biggest level. I mean, it's a lot of running. No, don't get me wrong with that, but yeah. So that's it. Matt Craxon says, get it this weekend, Co. Thanks, Matt. I'm going to go after it. I'm definitely going to go after it. My goal is to just not blow, because as long as I don't blow up, then I can, like, if I don't blow up, I can run like easy pace, for as long as I need to. But if I just go over that edge, then like, even walking is going to be a challenge. So like, I just feel like as long as I don't blow up, just don't blow up, then it'll be a great time. When whatever the time is, I'll have fun. That's kind of where I'm at. All right. Oh, Dr. Funk says, you get a special medal for Comrades when you do it back to back, up and down year, along with a fast time medal also. See, that's how you get people to do events again. You gotta make it like that. We were talking about a no coast trail race series, and then doing this for like, you gotta do it twice. But then how am I gonna get to South Africa twice? That seems insurmountable to me. I don't know. I'm just very bad at traveling, I guess. And Jeremy Patton says, "Sup, Co? Would you do the tunnel marathon again?" I hope to do it again. I just don't know when I'll do it again. I mean, I loved it. I had so much fun with it. I'm thinking, it won't be 2020 as much as I really wanted to. I mean, I've just lost track of time there for a minute. It won't be this year. It won't be 2021 as much as I wanted to. Maybe 2022 is when I'll do it again. It's just such a fun race. Yeah. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. I don't know about tomorrow's live stream. I think I'll be able to do it. I got to figure out. Yeah, I think we'll do it. We'll do another live stream tomorrow. It'll be from my in-laws' house. So it's going to look kind of like this. I'm just going to do it probably from my phone, just to keep things simple, because I don't have to carry like my laptop and my soundboard and all the other microphones and stuff. So it'll be a little bit rougher around the edges, but we'll do a live stream tomorrow, same time as usual for the weekday, which is 1 p.m. Central Time, same time as today. And then I don't know what the live stream schedule will be for the weekend. Probably won't do any over the weekend because of the race, but we'll do that. Tomorrow, there's going to be no video, though, because today's just a rest day. I didn't run today, so I didn't film anything. So there's no video tomorrow, but I will see you in the live stream again, hopefully. All right. See you next time from Iowa. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.